Welcome back, guys, or if you're new to my channel, this is Automotive Anonymous, and I'm currently driving the all-new 2025 Mazda CX-70, but more specifically, this one is actually a pretty high trim level. It's the Turbo S Premium, so it has polymetal gray metallic paint. It even has this Napa red leather interior, which is fantastic. It's a really nice place to be. It's a really comfortable drive, and I actually just finished my full review of this. So this is just kind of a bonus review, a driving impressions video, where I'm going to overlay some of the footage from my real review, because quite frankly, I just didn't want to give it back quite yet. This is a fun vehicle, and for this being a new attempt by Mazda at entering into the luxury 5-seater SUV game, I think they did a really good job with this. Between all the nicer materials, the red accents, and red leather even on the door cards, it's seriously a pretty nice place to be. And if you guys like Mazda, the brand new CX-70, or my video, please consider liking my video. That small act of kindness, it really goes a long way. It helps me know you want to see more stuff like this, and it helps you by having YouTube choose to show you more stuff like this. Thank you. And then this one specifically, it's a top safety pick plus. It has really good visibility. It has a whole lot of safety features, and these have been shown to do quite well in accidents, but they also do quite well at letting you have a fun time, a fun driving experience, which is what a lot of Mazdas are known for. They're known for being sporty, they're known for being dependable, and this one is even built in Japan like most Mazdas other than the CX-50. And with the 3.3 liter inline 6 turbo and the performance hybrid that this one has, check out the performance. And that's just regular mode. We're not even in sport mode right now. But this big, nearly 5,000 pound SUV with me in the vehicle, it gets right up to speed. It's about 16.6 feet long, 6 feet wide, and about 5.5 feet tall. And for being almost 5,000 pounds with me in it, it handles really well. The steering response, for not feeling a lot through the electronic controls of this, it just feels good. It can do a full circle in about 38 feet, which is actually pretty agile for this large of a vehicle. I don't feel claustrophobic in here at all. Even for having the dual panoramic moonroof, I still have a few inches above my head. And for being over 16 feet long, you know, you have great visibility. The side mirrors do a good job. The rear view mirror goes right down the center of this vehicle. And I wonder if we can even get the camera on while we drive. We can. Check that out, the 360-degree camera, which is actually really clear and more clear than I would have expected for a Mazda product, but it only stays on for a few seconds before you have to push it again. But whether you're driving through the country like I am right now, just delaying my time before I have to drop this off back at Goody Mazda, which I'll link them below. They're a phenomenal dealership to work with. I'm sure they ship anywhere in the country, and they're gonna get you a good deal if you're interested in them. I just wanted to drive this a little bit more. I had driven it through town a little bit earlier, and in my regular full review of this, that was the 2 or 3 minute driving impressions I did. So I figured it's time to take it on the country. Time to stretch its legs just a little bit. Oop, we gotta turn off that auto start stop system, because I am not the biggest fan of that. It actually is integrated pretty well into this vehicle, especially with the size of the vehicle. It doesn't feel too abrupt. And the 8-speed transmission overall, it shifts well. It shifts for what you'd expect, but let's give it some gas. Basically, the little electric motor makes about 17 horsepower on its own and over 100 pounds of torque, so it basically supplements the lower RPMs before the turbo boost, which is actually a pretty substantial, pretty big turbo on this inline 6 3.3 liter, before that kicks in, and then it peaks out on this Turbo S Premium at 340 horsepower, and about 369 foot-pound-feet of torque. This actually has a 369 final drive ratio too, which is kind of funny and easy to remember, I guess, if you want to remember your torque figure and your rear drive axle ratio. But it basically puts the power down quite well. I'll show you guys the 0 to 60 right here. 0 to 60 in the all-new CX-70. Keep in mind, we are a mile above sea level, so even though this vehicle's turboed, it is still going to be down in power, at least 6 or 7%. I'm in sport mode, traction's off. I'm going to brake rev it. Let's see what it can do. Doesn't rev very high with the torque converter. And then dang, does that pull really nicely. True 0 to 60 came in at 7.34 on this test. So maybe not crazy fast, but still fast for what this is. Fast for being a large, luxurious, comfortable vehicle that competes against things like the Honda Passport if you get one of those loaded out, or what the Grand Cherokees have become, or even what the BMW X5 is. Mazda's really taken off the gloves and kind of hitting pretty heavy in those other luxurious classes with this new model. And, you know, initial impressions, I don't know how it'll hold up, of course, but so far, I think it competes pretty well, especially at a price point where this starts at about $40,000 for this non-plug-in hybrid. And then if you want the more powerful engine, all the luxurious interior and bits that this has, it's about a $55,000 vehicle. So it's not cheap by any stretch of the imagination, but it does a pretty good job at doing what it's supposed to do, being much nicer than the average new vehicle while costing only about $8,000 more than the average new vehicle these days. And it's just fun to drive, has a lot of safety features. The Bose speakers actually sound really good, but more importantly, it's not going to be accurate because whatever I'm picking up on camera right now and then playing through your speakers is not going to actually replicate the audio quality of what these Bose speakers are. But Bose and Mazda have had a partnership for over 20 years. I have the Bose system in my 23 Miata Club, and they're great. I think Mazda does a really good job. This has a 275, 45, 50 wheel and tire. Unfortunately, it just has a spare, but with that spare tire, this one actually has a Bose subwoofer, which just adds a little bit more bass, and it's integrated quite well. Overall, the wind noise, the road noise with these tires, it's not bad. If I would quit talking for a minute, that would make for a boring video, but the road noise is really not bad. This sounds pretty good just driving around here, and when I was just driving off camera, not talking before, just thinking about the vehicle, it was honestly a pretty nice place to be. The brakes do a good job. You have navigation and it tells you, the speed limit and things like that. A little bit of wheel chirp. This is all-wheel drive. It has 8.1 inches of ground clearance and a rear-focused all-wheel drive system and a longitudinally mounted transmission and engine, of course. So it is pretty performance-focused. This drives like a CX-90, but I feel like it's a little bit better than the CX-90 without having the third row. And overall, I'm having a really good time, and I hope you guys are learning a lot from this video. It's just when I do these longer impromptu driving videos, I can share more than I have time for in my typical reviews because I only save about 2 or 3 minutes for those, for the driving impressions, and it's more objective and about the specs. But honestly, guys, I always recommend that you test drive the competition, that you check out the vehicles that you might not think you're interested in, because one of them might surprise you, but I don't really have any reservations for recommending this if this is what you guys think is best for you. It is $55,000. That's going to be out of a lot of people's price point. But for the people who are shopping for a luxurious vehicle, this might actually be a bargain. It might be 20 grand cheaper than the X5, depending on how you spec everything. And this might be the vehicle that you actually really want. Honestly, it drives well, it feels good, has ventilated seats, it has a heated steering wheel, it has a lot of high-end features, and it's a joy to drive, but it's probably about time that I take this back and drop it off before I rack up too many miles on it. And with that said, I wish you guys the best. I hope you take care. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the things if you want to see more stuff like this. And check it out below. I'll link the dealership if you're interested. They'll probably ship it to you. They'll probably give you a great deal. And I have no reasons to not give them high accolades because they are good people to work with. With that said, take care. See ya.